ADHD is the best thing that happened to me. This is the best thing, hands down. Just finding out that I have ADHD, game changer. I went from being a burnt out call agent, 40 plus hours a week, and I could rack up even more than that, because there was times I was doing overtime. Someone needed cover for night shift. I'll do night shift. I've done the whole day, and then I'll do night shift after. So I've done maybe what 16 hours that day. Like, guys, I was hating my life at that point. Like, I was just like, man, I gotta go work tomorrow. Like that was just like this on repeat, constantly just reactive to, yeah, I need more money, so I'm gonna have to do more hours in the job that I don't like, right? To being a successful coach making 10 plus K a month because of my ADHD, right? Both scenarios were because of my ADHD. But how was I able to be a successful coach doing what I do now from someone who was extremely self-sabotaging, right? Very insecure. I didn't even want to get promoted to manager. I didn't think I'd be good enough for the role. Of course, when I end up going into the role, like, I was working very well in that role, but it was just that there was a certain thing that was happening for me, that there was just a self-confidence that just wasn't there. There was an imposter syndrome that was taking place, right? So in this video, I really want to walk through and just give you guys real vulnerability, just authenticity right now. I'm going to share a story with you. It's something that most people will be embarrassed to say. I'm not embarrassed at all. I'm very comfortable sharing this, right? Exactly step by step, the journey from burnout to the breakthrough of where I'm at today, right? So I'm completely different to a year ago. Completely different. There's like, you match this time last year, and where I'm at now, it's a whole different journey, right? How? Why ADHD was the key to my success? What was the moment of clarity that made me just make that change? What was it? Tell me, what was it? Like, I'm going to share it in the video, right? How to reframe the traits as superpowers. I'm going to talk about it because for a lot of us, we may not see it as a superpower, but I want to put it like this. There's villains and there's superheroes. They both have superpowers. They both use them differently. The villains are deciding, I want to use this to destroy stuff, right? And the superheroes are using it for saving the world, right? For, justice. But they're both superpowers, right? From these two sets of characters, the villain and the superheroes. Which side are you on? Is it rumination? That's the villain, right? Is it hyper-focusing on the, on the positives and looking at everything as a lesson? Even if it's like something that's a challenge, you still see it as a lesson. That's a superpower, right? So, how to achieve your goals as well. That's another thing I want to talk about, because, we could do years and years of therapy. We could just talk to people and talk about the trauma of the past and all this stuff. Yeah, it's really good to to get to the source of why a certain concept has been sticking with you and that is stopping you from moving forward. Yeah, definitely get all that. Definitely do it. I definitely recommend it. In fact, it's the whole reason why I went for the diagnosis, because I went therapy, right? The therapist told me that, look, listen, for all the things you're sharing, it sounds like you might have ADHD, but I feel like you need to go for that assessment. Obviously, I don't want to diagnose you, right? You need to go to a professional for that. I then done that. I took her advice, and I'm diagnosed with ADHD combined, right? And massive game changer for me, because I thought I was inattentive the whole time. I was always looking at the inattentive part of what it was talking about for the ADHD. I was like, yeah, that's me. But you know what else is me? Impulsivity, hyperactivity as well. That was also me. But I almost had that as a blind spot. I almost forgot that was happening. The alcohol consumption brought that out the most, right? That's when you could see the hyperactive side of me. It's almost like a completely different character. I went from really shy in my shell to just being just completely just didn't care about, how I looked. Like I was, I know you probably hear what I'm saying here, right? It's just there was a complete difference in the two, right? But I'm combined. And that's why that ended up happening. That's why I was able to mask my whole entire life. Every person that's interacted with me has had a different experience of me. Like, they won't be saying the same thing. All of them won't say the same thing about me. They all have a different experience of me. It just depends on the person, because I'm masking it. Crazy, right? But look, let's get into this, man. Let's get into this. Let me talk to you about this time last year, right? Because this time last year, guys, like I said to you, and I'll just paint the picture so you can obviously hear it for yourself, right? So this time last year, I've been promoted to a manager about a year in. So I was about a year into being a manager in the corporation I've been working for, and I had a team of 11, and I was starting to get used to the role, right? So I obviously got into the role now, and I'm like, okay, so I understand things a bit better now. Some of the tasks got really tedious and like boring, but they were very simple. Like, you know, I could always do them, but it's just that there was no real adventure to it, right? So it was very, very dry, the same thing over and over again. And also I was obviously in an environment where I realized I was in an environment that wasn't suited for my brain, because I was doing a lot of multitasking in that role, and multitasking is just definitely not a strength of mine, right? And for anyone that has ADHD, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to multitask, especially if there are things that sway you away from the thing that you're just working on. So like, if I'm going to sit here and do this video, I just need to sit here and do this video. I can't be doing this video and then doing other things at the same time. Like, I'm not going to be attentive for this video, right? So I need to hyper focus on just delivering this video, right, to you. So a lot of my managerial role was jumping from one thing to another, and it just really didn't work for me. It just didn't serve me, right? But of course, I'd just been diagnosed last year as well. I was freshly like diagnosed, so I'm realizing, okay, so it was July, and then I'm leading into October, so I've gotten like a quarter, like 3 months now of just being, you know, with this new awareness that I have ADHD, right? And then noticing like where my traits are flaring up, right? So I'm doing the role, and I'm doing it to the best of my ability. There's nothing wrong with, you know, like, my manager's happy with me, but of course, you know, I could improve. There's certain things that I could have done better, but it was a lot to do with just how my ADHD brain works. I wasn't given the opportunity to be able to use it at my strengths, right? So I want to dive into what happened in October that shifted a lot for me. Like, it was definitely one of the things that just like was like a nail in the coffin for me, right? It was the Halloween prop that I'm going to talk about now. So my manager really loves the concept of Halloween, like, and that was like one of the events that we had a budget for, right? Like, yeah, Halloween, so we can get all the props for it, and we could do escape room, and we can get everyone to kind of learn through the escape room of some of the procedures from work, which is a really good idea, right? Sounds great. So yeah, it was fun, right? But came a point where there was like, oh, we need a prop, like we need someone to play a dead person maybe, and scare people when they come in. So me being me at the time, people pleaser, yeah, I'll do it, right? So I said yes to doing that, right? Because my participation, for me to be involved in that, is that all the managers had to be involved, and it's fine. Look, I get it, right? But what happened is, on the day, I'm there, I'm putting the black bin bag over me, because obviously, you know, need to make sure that they can't tell that it's a person, right? And I had to lay on the floor in this room, right? And I remember just laying on the floor. It was really uncomfortable as well, because I'm tall, like 6'2", right? So it's just like really just uncomfortable, right? And I was just remember just thinking to myself, like, is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing? Like, just laying on the floor, just playing dead and waiting for people to come in and then scaring them. Like, is that what I'm supposed to be doing right now? And at this point, I wanted to start doing my coaching business as well. So I was just starting moving the needle forward of just like learning, okay, what type of offer I'm going to create for, what skill set do I have? Social media, right? So then I wanted to start, you know, creating a business, right? And I remember at that point that I was starting to make a bit of money through doing affiliate marketing, right? And at the same time, I was doing my job at the same time, right? But and I had obviously ADHD as well, but I didn't have any program. I wasn't yet a coach yet, right? But I remember just laying there, and I remember just thinking like, that's the last time I'm gonna be doing that, laying on the floor like a dead person. Like that doesn't serve, like, it serves the purpose of what, the theme was for that day, and like, yeah, like, let me do it. Yeah, it's cool. What's the big deal, right? But I just felt like I had no control. Like I had no way of saying like why couldn't I just say, oh no, like I'm not even into like this whole Halloween thing. Like I don't want to be a part of this. Like why couldn't I just be able to say that? I couldn't say that. I felt like I was controlled. I had to do something I really didn't want to do. I definitely didn't want to do that, but I did it, right? So I just felt a bit like, nah, man, Mike, nah, this ain't it, man. And it just planted a seed for me, and I was just like, that's the last time I'm doing that. That's the last time I'm. And it's there's nothing against the company, nothing against my manager and anything. I said yes to it, right? And I decided to work there, and I decided to get promoted, right? But what I'm trying to say to you is, it's not about me being the victim here. It's about me noticing that I was making decisions from survival mode, right? I was living in survival mode the whole time. And I just remember like I was just like, am I going to do this for the rest of my life? So another 10 years of just doing this Halloween thing, which I don't like. And, I'm just going to just happen to just be there. And maybe I'm not going to be the dead person on the floor every day, every year. But I'm going to do something that really doesn't, like, I really just don't like it, right? Fair enough, go and do trick or treating with my daughter outside. Yeah, that's different, right? But for this situation specifically, playing the dead person, it really made me feel a little bit like that's not, this is not the mission. This ain't the mission, man. So like that was just like the planting of the seed of just like, I need to exit this environment, because there's nothing wrong with the people that I'm working with. There's something wrong with the environment that I work in. It's not like, I just saw it as like, it's not a best use of my skill sets. Like I'm not using my full potential here, right? Like this is not optimizing me for my full potential. So I want to share this with you guys, that for decades, every ADHD study focused on the problems, right? Most of you are very, very crystal clear on the problems that ADHD comes with, right? The cons, right? But how about the actual benefits? There are pros to it as well, right? So in 2023, there's researchers who tried something different, and they asked themselves, what are the positive aspects of having ADHD, right? So they wanted to lean into that and just see if there were any that they could identify. So your ADHD traits are an unfair advantage. You really need to sit with that. Like, it really is. But you have to believe it. And I had to believe it. And I believed it. That belief system needs to be optimized for thinking about the strengths. So what if things you struggle with are actually strengths in disguise? What if the thing that you just keep complaining about, like, oh, I'm time blind, I'm dying, what if it was a blessing in disguise to let you know you need a system, and that you can be creative with just creating a system that works with that? Maybe create an update for how you deal with that. Because what you want to do is, you want to look at these 4 areas, right, of ADHD traits that I see, and I'll just use examples from my life where I lean into all these four. There's many more, right? But we're just going to do four in this video, right? Spontaneous creativity is one of them. Now, for me, I could be washing the dishes and I'm going to get a $1 million idea while I'm washing the dishes. I could be in the shower, same thing. On the walk, same thing, right? Just random moments of my day, just coming up with these things that, oh yeah, I should do that, right? Like, that's just going to happen for the rest of my life. I just have to accept that, right? I'm not going to just try to make my brain stop doing all that. There's nothing actually wrong with that. It's how we generate those ideas and how we store them, where we put them, and then having a moment just to reflect on whether that's something that can be done right now, doesn't need to be delegated, but you do need to just lean into that. I posted a video on IG that's going crazy, like I think it's like 3 million views already, and it's a speech from Lo Kana, and he's talking about justice, right? He talks about it, and he talks about how his day was just very impulsive into like just different. It went from one into another, and it's just so impulsive. But in the end, he created a really good song out of it, because he ended up listening to a song like while he was doing all this crazy stuff throughout his day, like getting distracted with all these different things. But then in the end, it turned into a blessing. But for someone who comes into his world after all that happened and says, "Oh, how you getting on?" How's he gonna describe that? It's really hard to describe it. Like, it's just like, I just wrote a song. Is that all you did? Well, and then you can just go back and you can see that there's this massive, there's this kind of like trail, that chaos that led to this massive piece of creativity that he created. So he created an amazing song out of that, right? He's a musician. He's doing really well as a musician, and he's a very creative person. Very, very creative, right? Really great storyteller. But he has to embrace that part of who he is, right? And a lot of the time we just feel like, because we're not doing what normal, if you want to call it normal people, and there's no such thing as normal, right? It's just default. There's people, or there's neurotypical, there's a default way that's just like, if you don't want to make decisions for your life, this is what you should do, right? And then people just go, okay, well, don't want to make a decision, so yeah, I'm just going to do this. But you can make a decision, and you can look at your brain as being something that just needs a custom build, right? So there's also the intense hyper focus, right? So what happened for me with this is that I dived into the topic of ADHD, right? I could have dived into the topic of whatever I was doing in my 9 to 5, right? And being a manager and really excelled there, right? But I just felt like that wasn't the best use of the hyper focus. I want to hyper focus on solving this problem. Like, I want to be an educator, right? I want to educate people on how to have a better relationship with ADHD, whether that's through coaching, whether that's through a course that I do, which, by the way, I do have a free course, so there's a link in the description if you want to dive into the course. It's something that could really benefit you if you're someone who wants to learn a bit more about yourself. So yeah, in the description it's there. There's 3.5k members in there at the moment, and the course is basically all my insights on how I got here today, right? So hyperfocus. I hyperfocused on how I can improve my life through ADHD, and it led me to where I am today, helping my clients, helping my community that I just mentioned to you, creating a course out of it, growing a social media following of over 110k followers now on IG alone. There's all other platforms as well, like TikTok is at 86 or something now, like 86k. So it's like, guys, and I need to stop saying guys, because it's not guys, it's I'm speaking to someone, right? This is one person, and what there is there for me is that it's because I was hyper focusing on how can I just improve my life, how can I keep improving this process that I'm going through, like what should I focus on? I kept focusing on the negatives. What if I focus on the positives, right? And that's what got me here today. Was it difficult? Yeah, it was difficult. But you know what was difficult as well? When I weren't dealing with stuff and I was just avoiding and adding more on my plate and not trying to solve this problem that I had, right? This chaotic approach. So, obsessive nature, right? We are extremely obsessed. ADHD is we're extremely obsessed, and you can see certain aspects of the obsession in certain areas of your life. It might be a song, you know, like there was a song that came out the other day, like I think a couple of weeks ago, that like I just can't. This is repeating in my head. The song's just in my head the whole day, to the point where I just can't even focus. Like it's just like I can focus. I'm focusing on the song, right? It's my attention is swaying to the song. It's just obsessive. There's limerence, like where you know you obsess over someone. I remember that I used to be very obsessive. Like there was this person that I met online, and just built this picture in my head of like just being the perfect person. Didn't even know who she was, man. Like this was like years ago. This is like 20 odd years ago. Like this happened, but it's obsession, right? And we can, we can dive that into something and obsess over the how to solve a problem. What happens if I do this? What if I just kept doing this for 3 months? This one thing here, like the obsession of just doing this one thing. Like we can really get very good at something if we just focus on one thing. I had a client yesterday message me and saying to me that she's thinking about this other project, which I can see is a shiny object for her, right? Like she wants to dive into 2 different things at the same time. And I said, look, listen, you just need to focus on one thing. Because if you focus on one thing, you're going to get really good at that and just solidify that. Then there'll be room for that other thing that you're talking about. But don't bounce from these different things, because these 2 different things are going to just like, you're going to end up giving it half each, which is, it feels like progress. Yeah, I know we need to do things in smaller pieces, but we also need to look at the bigger picture of like, what do we want as a whole? So like for me, for ADHD or the brand, like, of course, there's many aspects to that. There's a podcast that can come out of it. There's a merchandise and like a clothing brand that can come out of it. There is just making this coaching program the best thing it can be. There is the course material. How can I improve it? There's the second brain dashboard that I have for my clients and myself that I can improve, or maybe even do a digital product out of it, right? But I can't do all of them at once. I can give a little tiny bit to each thing if I wanted to, but what if I just looked at which is the thing that if I do just solely that, it will make all the other things just effortless and a lot easier to and more exciting, where I could just now focus on one of those things next. And that's coaching, right? If I just lean into coaching only and just make sure that I give the best experience possible to my clients right now, and I create the best coaching product that I can, once that's all done and it's been seen through, and I get all the people that are happy with the result, and they're showing me, yeah, Mike, your methods work, and they validate it, right? Just like my social media is validating that they like the content. That's why it's at 100K followers right now, because they're validating the concept, right? If I do the same thing with coaching, how far can I be in this journey? How much money can I invest in all the other stuff, like the clothing brand, where I can delegate those ideas for someone to create those pieces, for someone to help me with the setup and everything for the podcast, for me to have more time for the podcast, because I've got less time now because I've created a coaching program that's easier to deliver now. But if I do a little bit of the podcast now, like one a week, then I do this and then I do this, in the end, it just gives less time for me to make this program the best program possible. And for everyone that I work with, they're happy so far, and I need to keep them happy, right? So my focus is that. But here's the thing. It's easy for me to want to go to other places and see like these shiny objects and think, oh yeah, but just a couple of hours or, this. But it just takes away from all the time that I could be spending with checking in on one of my clients, or creating a piece of training for them, or just seeing that, okay, this is what she's been struggling with. What can I do now, like to make sure that she takes action next week, or what should I say to her now that will just get her to build momentum? Like that's where I need to put in my focus. And by the way, just want to throw this out here. I'm going to take a few more people into my program. So if you are interested in that, there'll be a link in the description as well for that. Just thought it'd be important to just let you know that, because obviously we're coming up towards the end of the year now. I've got a few spots that I feel like I can manage a few more people until 2026. So if you are interested, just jump on the call and see if this could be a fit for you. It might be, it might not. But, it's not my choice to decide if that is for you or not. But I can obviously tell you how it works, right? So the next thing we've got is boundless curiosity as well. We are extremely curious, right? That we love exploring, we love discovering. That's why these shiny objects look so attractive, because we just love just exploring. Like, oh, this new idea, this sounds amazing. Let me just check it out. Like, but we need to be very, very cautious about that, because it ends up being that we just have 100 tabs. We end up having 100 courses on different topics, and we get overwhelmed. We have 100 newsletters that we sign up to. We have all of these folders, all these screenshots on your phone, thousands of screenshots. Tell me when you're going to go through all those screenshots and, organize them. When are you going to do that? Are you going to do that? Probably not. It's going to overwhelm you, right? But you're doing that. But then what if you were just to be curious, and just put all your curiosity and all your questioning and all your learnings into one topic, one thing? Like, all my curiosity is just be pumped into, how can I be a better coach? How can I do a better program? How can I make this the best program? How can I package it? What training does it need to have? What do they keep saying every week? And I need to just do a training on this. What if I just obsess on that for 1 year? This is what I'm trying to say, guys. Like, this is it. And I keep saying, guys, I need to change this. And I love, like, just being open about this. Is that one thing I want to make it very clear about as well, is I'm getting used to it, but I'm still seeing it as that I'm speaking to more than one person. But in reality, I'm not speaking to more than one person. I'm speaking to one person, and I'm just giving you a little nugget here for someone who's an ADHD creator who wants to actually start doing this journey online and creating videos and documenting the journey. Is you do want to be speaking to just one person, and it will make it easier for you to show up online if you do have a problem with this. I'm obviously still okay with speaking on camera, but I don't like the fact that I'm trying to make it more like a plural thing. Like, I do want it to really feel like I am speaking to Sharon, or I'm speaking to Joanna, or I'm speaking to Dipper, or I'm speaking to, like, anyone that I've interacted with, right? Katie, Johnny. I want to feel like I'm speaking to one of them, right? Or even just speaking, like, just even better, if you just want to just even, like, forget about thinking about all these specific individuals, you just need to be speaking to your past self. Really, this video is for the version of me before the diagnosis who needed this piece of content, needed this kind of, this direction. So I am working on that, and honestly, this is what this channel is going to be all about, is just bringing these kind of things in. I'm going on a tangent sometimes, but I just need to bring these things in so you can see the authenticity and the realness here. Like, I'm not going to edit these anymore. Someone messaged me the other day and said to me, like, I really loved your video, man, but there was a point where you was cutting out and it didn't feel natural, the cuts. And it's like, yeah, because I used a software that cuts naturally, but it didn't do it naturally enough. So it cut out some things at the end. It didn't leave room for things to just, like, marinate. So I'm going to stop doing edits now. Like, this is just going to go out exactly how I've recorded it now. Like, and the reason why I did it is, like, because it would shave off 10 minutes sometimes, but I think it's worth just having those extra 10 minutes in, just for the sake of just making this fluent. So thank you for that feedback, by the way. I think his name's Till that said that. So yeah, listen, ADHD isn't a flaw, right? It's a different operating system. You really need to sit with that, guys. And I've done it again, guys. I'm going to get used to this. But look, this is what the journey's about. You have to notice. And I will tweak. Listen. It's a different operating system. One that works incredibly well under the right conditions. The conditions that I was in before, yeah, I've been promoted. Yeah, great. Oh, yeah, like, I'm in a senior role now. After so many years, I finally went and I did that. But it weren't under the right conditions. It wasn't serving my strengths. Like, and it was in some cases. Like, I'm not gonna just disregard it completely. As a manager, my massive strength was the coaching, right? So I had someone who now I can see, obviously, now that I've been diagnosed with ADHD, I can see very clearly that he also has ADHD as well, right? And he was the person that I was helping the most out of the team members. And it's not because he wasn't a good member of the team. He just found it difficult to manage his traits. And obviously I went here trying to be an ADHD coach to him. I wasn't even telling him that he had ADHD, right? But I'm looking back and I'm realizing why I had so much empathy for him and why I helped him and why I wanted to help him so much. And then that was the ticket for me being like, yeah, I want to do this for everyone that struggled. Like I wanted to reach more people like him. And I was like, yeah, there's other team members that just can just do things, like they just get one instruction, they do it, they could do it on repeat and they do it very well. And I give them feedback like, yep, great, just keep this up. And then for him, it'd be like, you'll do a really good week maybe. And then the next week, it'd just be like the opposite. And, you know, it's just a constant, like just up and down. And I had to just like, you know, keep motivating him. And now I transitioned to an environment where I get to now select who I help with that. So with my coaching, I actually help people who need the assistance of doing this transition that I did, right? And that's a better use of my time because I'm obsessed over this topic. I really want to see people winning. That is just something that just, it fuels me. It gives me energy. It lights me up. So yeah, you need to be in the right conditions, and I'm in the right conditions right now. My calendar looks beautiful. It's got all my clients in there. They've all got their allocated slots every week. And like I said, there's a few more spots, right? Like in the calendar. But it's just like, I know now I could just select who goes in those next slots. Like I get to choose who does that. It's not like, yeah, I'm just going to get 3 more people in just randomly, like we're giving them. No, like this is about, who else do I want to work with, man? Like these guys are awesome, man. Like who else is like similar to them? Like, and I get to do that. It's an incredible feeling. A selection process, like, yeah, I'd love to help this person through this. Yeah, man, let me just let him know what it'd be like to work with me. Like, I love that. It's the right conditions for me, right? So it's crazy because I'm not a salesman. I'm just here saying there's a few more slots in my calendar, and do you want me to help you with this? Would you like me to be the person that helps you this, or do you want someone else? Like, there's loads of ADHD coaches out there. Like, just pick one. But yeah, I do this as well, right? Like I do this, and this is how I do it. This is my method of supporting you. Can you see value in that? Yeah, like let's do this then. Or just do the free material, like the free courses there. Like you could just do that. Like, but do you see what I mean? It's like, it's very, very just empowering to just wake up and know that there's people that are already in my program who chose me, and there's people that they're not ready yet, and it's okay. You're the one telling me what your problems are. You're the one telling me that you're stalling. You've done another year of wasting time. And you're saying that you don't want to do that anymore. And I'm like, okay, how do you want to solve that problem? How? You want to solve that problem by doing the course material. Awesome. That's why I did the course. For people like you. Oh no, you can't go through the course because you feel like it's too overwhelming. You prefer someone to give you the steps each week on what you should focus on or what you should do, and just kind of help you to reframe. Oh, you want that level of support? Oh, okay. This is how it is to work with me. This. That doesn't sound like selling to me, right? But at the end of the day, I know deep down that for me, the biggest part that changed my journey is when I gave in to trying to do this myself, and gave in to, I keep saying that I'm going to do this and I don't do it. I need someone to help me with that. And then I selected my mentors. I said, yeah, he is showing up in life. He's doing the work. I need him to like give me my actionable steps. And then I'm following suit just like they have. And that's all this is about. This is all this is about at the end of the day. Your brain is not broken. Right now I'm doing a video about being a coach. Last year, that wasn't even going to be a video concept at all. if anything, the video concept last year might have been talking about the negatives of ADHD and just complaining, and maybe delete the video because, oh no, the video wasn't good enough and all this stuff, right? I'm very crystal clear that I'm inside this journey. I love what I do. I love helping the people I help. And I just love the fact that I was able to get myself from being someone who was self-sabotaging, almost about to burn out. I was very close to the burnout, very, very close to the second meltdown in 1 year. And I said, I need to leave. I left that environment, as hard as it was. And here I am. Here I am. I'm just here inviting people to walk with me on this journey. And you're going to choose which one looks better for you. You're going to, oh yeah, I'll make my own way there. Don't worry, man. Like, thank, I got my own map. Like, cool. Oh, you want to jump in the van? Yeah, I'll jump in with you. Awesome. This is how much the trip is, mate. Yeah, no worries, man. You're going to take me where I need to get to, so it's perfect. Like, now I don't have to worry, right? I just sit in the seat, and you're going to drive me to the right place. You're going to tell me, you're going to talk me through. I'm going to look out the window and I'm going to say, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, awesome. Like, this sightseeing at the same time. Look, I've got the coach, I've got the vehicle, and there's different ways that the vehicle is going to look for different people, right? You might want to just ride the bike and follow the vehicle, follow the trip that I'm doing. Yeah, I'm going to go by bike. No worries, Mike. Save a bit of money. Yeah, it's all right. I'll ride it. Is riding on the bike going to be a little bit harder? Yeah. But it's still possible for you to get to the destination. And that's the course, guys. That's the free course material. Link in description. If you want that route, do that. I don't need to go into this anymore. I think I'm going on a tangent now, but I'm just really passionate about this. And it's really important for me to say that it's just running on a different software. That's all that's been happening. I changed the software. There's Windows and there's Apple. There's different keyboard shortcuts for each of them. Don't be there trying to do a shortcut from Windows on the Mac and expect there to be, something happening and working. Like, oh, well, why is this not working? It's the wrong keyboard shortcut. Macs have a different way, right? So that's what I'm going to leave you with. Peace.